Welcome to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, which is the location for today's race. The cars are out on the grid, so let's join the action down on the track. We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6-mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Invictus Racing League's F2 division, brought to you by Nailcut Hall Hotel Golf and Country Club, and in partnership with gridfinder.com and Driver 61. My name is Webbo. I'm here as usual to take you through tonight's race broadcast, and joining me in the commentary booth as usual, but for the last time until the finale, is Lightning.
Hello everyone, great to be back. Sadly only for one more round after this, but it'll be fun. I hope so, at least.
We do plan to have fun, and we're hoping that that the lightning curse does not continue to strike for our drivers, unless you've been actively paid by anybody.
No.
But no one's paying you yet, so they deserve what they get.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and take us through the starting order for this round 10, Lightning, if you will.
Okay, so on pole position yet again is Ivan Belov with a 125.5 flat. In P2 is Smoke FX, Ginger Tiger, and then Tyra. So our top three are our championship protagonists. P5 is Kuipers, Mr. Steen, Simon Palmer, Joe Hamster, Keza, and Russman in the top 10. Out of the top 10 is Nitro Gash, our round 1 championship leader, and followed by Cool, JSP, Ben Roberts, and Office Red in last.
Yeah, so 15 starters. I think we had 13 starters last night in F1, but the qualifying order bore no resemblance to the order at the end of lap 1 last night. So let's hope that our championship contenders stay at the front. But yesterday, Lightning, we were all over the shop.
There was lots of things going on. It's quite a fun race. No safety cars, but still a very fun race.
Well, it's a good time to get your predictions in now. You've seen the starting order. David Forty, who I presume races in F3, said he'd love a wet race in F3. And I was surprised, as Renz was, that no one went for soft tyres at the end, but everyone wanting to get that free tyre choice. Although I think with a wet session, you do still get your free choice of tyres for qualifying. But a dry race should be on the cards. It does look overcast. There's no sunshine to speak of, but I think that's what we're waiting for tonight. It was a very tense, hypnotic kind of a race yesterday in F1, and I wonder if we'll get something similar. The start, though, was all important, with two of our main championship protagonists very close to the back of the grid by the end of lap 1, somewhat ruining our entertainment at the front, and I hope that we will get the top 3 survive those first few corners.
Yes, that would be that is critical to have a good championship fight right till the end. Hopefully we can see that coming to fruition.
So
I've got squeaky chair.
How are our predictions coming in? Someone called Lightning is saying Smoke, Ginger, and Ivan.
Who's that?
David says Ivan, Smoke, Nitro. Nitro, a prediction for a podium. That's definitely definitely a brave move. Scars says how many people are running ABS and traction. Couldn't tell you, I'm afraid, Scars. We'll have to wait for drivers to admit that.
3
later on.
No, probably more.
Lightning's just making stuff up as usual. But yeah, that is the situation that we stand ourselves. It's a good time to share the race on socials and get your mates involved if your mates are racing and you want to get them online and feed the banter. Also a great time, if you would, to just like the video and subscribe to the channel, because the rest of the week we'll see continued Invictus Racing League races, the F3 for PlayStation, the F1 for PC, and the Realistic Performance, all coming forward for you from tomorrow. Same time, same place as usual. And the easiest way to do that is to, of course, subscribe to the channel. You can follow us on socials at WebORed5, at Invictus RL, and whatever Lightning is currently using as his Twitter handle.
I don't like Twitter, so I don't want any followers.
Get into plenty of fights, though, don't you, on Twitter?
Maybe. I don't know how I have the followers that I do.
So strategy-wise, we've got medium tyres for Kuipers, Rusman, Cool 132 JSP, Ben Robertson, Office Red. Everybody else on softs. We did see yesterday, Lightning, it was a medium soft strategy that seemed to win the day for F1. So I wonder if anyone will have been watching that with research in mind.
People don't seem to want to watch the F1 rounds. F2 drivers don't want to watch it, which is offensive, to be honest.
Well, I know we did see Smoke turn up yesterday to watch, and Ivan. So those guys, and Cool 132, in fact, who is known as Christoph. But there goes Smoke, managing to pirouette on the grass in the formation lap. Courtney says Smoke, Ginger, Simon, trusting the secret plan. That would be good. Burmeister saying Kuipers has all the data he needs. So Rent says Ivan, Ginger, and Cool. So some very bold predictions for P3. Some fairly tame predictions for P1 and 2 tonight, I think. But several drivers here, several viewers, I should say, Lightning, predicting Ivan to bottle it tonight.
Well, yeah. He does either have the win or DNF statistic. I think that this will be the race that he gets P3 and breaks his own record.
As the drivers head towards their formation lap and grid slots here, a quick thank you to our sponsors Nelcut Hall and our partners gridfinder.com and Driver 61. This is round 10 of the Invictus Racing League Season 13 F2 Championship. Ivan Beloff will lead us away from the grid, he hopes, from Smoke and Ginger Tiger. Tirac, Kuipers and Mr. Steen following close behind. Melanade says if Joe doesn't come top 3, he's going to smack him. And Rent saying we should call him Iwan. But here we go with the lights on. It's time to go racing, and it's go, go, go. And Ivan Beloff getting away from Smoke fairly comfortably here. And the second Ferrari of Tirac going backwards with Ginger Tiger racing up to battle the front two. But Smoke has got a good run here on Ivan Beloff, who hugs the inside line as they head towards turn 1. They could go side by side, but Ivan Beloff super late on the brakes. Ginger Tiger middle of the road, and round the outside of the second Ferrari comes Mr. Steen's Williams, and they scream towards with Joe Hamster right behind, who's gained loads of places heading down towards turn 4 and 5. And some of the drivers, we've got side by side action, their first experience of soft tyres tonight. And oh wow, Ginger Tiger going wide. That opens the door for Simon Palmer down the inside into P5 now. Simon Palmer up from, I think he was, P8 or 9, and moving forward, as are the Alfa Romeos. But Lightning, what have you seen from towards the back of the grid here so far?
I was on board with Simon Palmer, and he just kept weaving through drivers that were pushing each other off the road. It was fantastic.
Well, that's quite the comment. Yes. It was certainly hard fought. Lots of threats coming in for Joe from both Jordan and Melanade here. So there we go. That's who needs enemies when you've got friends like Melanade and Jordan. Joe Hamster is fueled by their goading as he's now closing up on the back of Mr. Steen. Smoke is close behind Ivan Beloff. I don't think it's close enough to have a go. And it is as they go into the first turn. Once again on lap 2, it's Ivan from Smoke and Mr. Steen, Joe Hamster and Simon Palmer, as the gap's now starting to elongate slightly. Nitro moving forward as well. It's been quite the topsy-turvy situation for our drivers. Joe Hamster launching one up the inside of Mr. Steen, and I think making it stick as they head into the turn 6 mini hairpin, and now in towards the S's. Joe Hamster up to P3, up 5 places from his start, as is Ben Roberts. Up 4 will be Nitrogash and Office Red, and Mr. Steam and Simon Palmer gaining 2 each. Ivan and Smoke where they started, but stretching their lead to 1.3 seconds. This could be a bit of an Ivan versus Smoke evening on the cards here, certainly from the outset. But we've got some penalties on the board for both Tirac and for Kuipers. Burmeister will not be happy with Kuipers at this stage, having picked up a penalty and being at the back of the grid. Joe Hamster, fastest lap, 1:18.416, as Smoke gets within 3/10 of Ivan Beloff, who is almost mowing the grass on the way down to turn 1, such is his defence to the inside.
Well, Smoke's going to be very happy with the DRS enabled sign. That's going to definitely help him make a move on those straights here in Mexico. I don't think it'll be very easy for Ivan to defend from DRS and ERS on that incredibly long start-finish straight.
Yeah, it is very difficult. It tends to be better to just let the guy behind go at this early stage of the race. Otherwise, you're going to lose time and lose the gap you've already got. But Joe Hamster screaming up behind these guys. And by the look of the tyre situation on the cars, Lightning, it looks like softs were the way to go on lap 1 and 2.
Yeah, the soft tyre runners have a clear advantage here at the start. But, of course, the medium tyres, they're there for the long game. And their power will be shown in the latter half.
Definitely. Really nice and so far clean for a couple of laps to start this race. Ivan Beloff crosses the line to start lap 4. He is less than a quarter of a second ahead of Smoke, who has got that DRS, goes to the outside, and a fairly easy DRS pass is complete. Looks like Joe Hamster not able to really capitalise strongly on the back of Smoke and Ivan Beloff, and he's now going to be watching his mirrors. But I think we might end up with a nice 5-way battle for the lead here at this stage, Lightning.
It's looking really good. Simon Plattermer's L plan is coming into effect. I'm very curious about his strategy.
Yeah, I've been sworn to secrecy, I have to say, but I will at least let you know if L plan worked or didn't work.
I think I know what he said.
Okay.
It's go as fast as possible.
Go fast, don't crash, I think is the usual instruction for team principals on the grid for drivers, isn't it? But 75 comments on lap 4, guys. Tremendous stuff as usual. We absolutely love having you all here and keeping the banter flowing as usual. It seems to have got into a love fest here between Jordan, Melanade and Rents. So no one's being too unpleasant to one another, which is always good to see. We like to keep it friendly here on Invictus Racing League. Simon Palmer is 4/10 less than that now, down to 3/10 behind Mr. Steen. We'll get the DRS, but so will Mr. Steen and Joe Hamster ahead. And I think these top 5 might become a top 6 as Ginger Tiger has anything to do with it. He's now 1.3 seconds behind. Tirac gets a DRS pass on Nitrogash up to P7, just rescuing that start slightly for Tirac. And we scream through.
Tiger,
go ahead.
Our championship leader is definitely closing in, especially if there's battling going on between the top 5, which they're very close together. So it's going to happen at some point. Joe Hamster 3-second penalty. That's not going to help his his cause today.
Not at
P3,
all.
he's going to get hit.
That was a big factor in the podium for F1 last night, was the number of penalties collected. So Joe's going to need to stop that right now and hope that everybody else catches him. Mr. Steen does exactly that, directly behind Joe Hamster. So he picks up his first penalty of the evening as well.
The feeling that everybody's pushing as much as possible, so could be seeing lots of penalties. Yeah, this is the lap for penalties.
Wow.
Kuipers now with 3 seconds.
So picking up a warning every other lap pretty much for these guys at the moment. It is an easy track to pick up those warnings. Joe Hamster starting to slow slightly. He's not able to catch Ivan Beloff, and in fact looks like Mr. Steen is about to get him.
Ivan is about to overtake Smoke.
Oh, let's go back up to the lead then. Smoke's got the inside. He's trying to keep that position, but Smoke positioning the car pretty nicely, but Smoke turns around.
Oh, no!
Smoke around and doing donuts on the grass. Unfortunately, that is wet grass as well from qualifying. Smoke down to P9, ruining our planned race at the front here. But Joe Hamster and Mr. Steen side by side through turns 5, 6 and 7. Sorry, turns 4, 5 and 6, I should say. Joe Hamster on triumphant at the moment, but has dropped behind the DRS zone of Ivan Belov. Will need a mega middle sector to catch back up, and he just about gets away from Mr. Steen. But Ivan Belov breathing a little easier now, Lightning, with Smoke spinning.
Certainly is. I think that was due to contact, though, so maybe a steward's inquiry.
Okay, it looked like it was just a little bit throttle happy from my view, but you saw something different.
Well, I was on board with Ivan, and you can see the front wing of Smoke very, very close to Ivan's side pod, but the game is just, it's pretty atrocious when it comes to spinning. Slight contact in the middle part of the car and it causes you to spin, so.
Joe Hamster trying to weave on the straight to keep ahead of Mr. Steen, takes the outside line into turn 1. That works, and Simon Palmer enters the battle as well. So Mr. Steen suddenly having to look behind him. Down into in P5 comes Ginger Tiger as well on this group, and this is just helping Ivan Belov get away from the rest of the field at this stage.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good for Ivan. Joe Hamster's battling with Mr. Steen is not helping. They both have a penalty and they're both losing time. They just need to get into that DRS to continue the train.
Joe Hamster's doing his best. He's 1.1 second away from Ivan Belov. Make that 1.3 after the S's. He might be able to close up on breaking into the stadium, depending on the setup difference between the two drivers.
Ooh,
but he needs to stem this flow. Rusman out of the race. Incredible stuff.
Safety car.
Oh, wow.
Is deployed.
There we go.
It's going to be a pit stop, surely.
Well, Ivan Belov slows massively to get into the pit lane. Joe Hamster joins him. Simon Palmer, this is ahead of schedule though, Lightning. This is a committed two-stop for the front runners who started on softs. Keza goes past and refuses the pit lane, but all of our soft runners coming into the pits, I would imagine Ben Roberts refusing the pits. Yes, indeed. And just about all of our medium runners are going to go ahead and get track position. So the race is going to change completely here. Keza leads from Ben Roberts. Keza not having stopped on those soft tyres. Ben Roberts in a great position on mediums. Cool 132. Kuipers, JSP. And then your erstwhile leader, Ivan Belov, down to P6 on new medium tyres.
Heartbreak for Smoke now down in second to last place on the soft tyres though, he's chosen. So going to have to go to the mediums for the end. Interesting strategy, but he has to go through the field, so he has to cut through.
Yeah, he's going to need to be decisive on the restart and gain as much as possible. So Rent says, was that allowed by Ivan? He hit the pit entry bollard. Well, I did wonder. I didn't want to say so, but Rent's confirming that that took place. So perhaps a slight misjudgment from Ivan Belov. I wonder if Joe caught sight of that and would consider reporting it, or if any of our drivers are eagle-eyed enough to watch the stream back within the 24-hour incident reporting window.
I don't think people care. In all honesty,
about the championship, come on, surely Ginger Tiger. If Ivan wins this race, he's going to be.
It didn't give him an advantage.
It's not the rule, though, is it? If you start the race 1 centimetre in front of your yellow line on the grid, it doesn't give you an advantage, but you still get a huge penalty. Rules is rules, they say.
Rules is rules.
Keza, now, why would you not double down on that strategy if you've made that decision?
Because he was an idiot, I guess. I mean, it's true.
I was looking for a good reason, not a not an insult.
I mean, it's not an insult. It's true.
As David says, will they two-stop now? It's a long stint on mediums. I think they have to two-stop if they've just put mediums on, or softs on, obviously. But if they've put on mediums now, I can't see them getting 26 laps out of the mediums. Certainly based on last night's degradation levels.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Helm go into the pits after, what, 9 laps on the softs? But we also did see Speed Queen go 16 laps on softs. But then again, Speed Queen is a bit of an alien when it comes to tyre reservation.
Although, didn't Helm say he got to 75% wear last night? So that is a very dangerous game to be playing. We hit 95 comments, so the traditional battle for the 100th comment will commence. And I expect lightning will suddenly go quiet, and I'll hear some tip-tapping on a keyboard. If you can figure out how to type on a controller instead of a wheel. But safety car will come in this lap. We have Ben Roberts, Cool 132 and Kuipers all on old tyres, as is JSP, and then Ivan Beloff behind. So we'll wait to see who gets the launch in here.
I think I got it.
103. Yeah, no, Jeremy got it, I think.
Oh no, really?
Based on my calculations anyway. We're about to go green though, as Ben Roberts will lead the field away. Kuiper's doing the Verstappen, but not quite, because he turns a Verstappen into a George Russell. Spins on the first restart lap, and we go 3 wide for the battle for second place. Joe Hamster on the inside, Ivan Beloff into P3, and Mr. Steen on the outside. In fact, we're going to go 4 wide as down the inside comes Mr. Steen. Incredible stuff here. I think Joe Hamster's just ahead enough to hold on. Mr. Steen,
round.
They're going to touch surely on the way out.
And Smoke's round. Oh my god.
Goodness me, 2 spins for Smoke. A problem for Tirac, was it? And obviously we saw Kuipers and JSP have problems
in half a sector.
That was quite the restart. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so bad like that. Of a restart.
And JSP's retired. He's given up in the middle of the road.
Ooh, that's not going to be popular. You need to get around to the pit lane as part of the racing rules.
True.
The 4 wide into turn 1 was, frankly, ambitious or ridiculous, depending on your point of view. Simon Palmer staying in 5th, though, on the new soft tyres, and perhaps biding his time. He's got so much more grip into the stadium, but he can't use it versus Ivan Beloff in front. Ivan, of course, with the underlying speed, pretty much. Simon Palmer will get a great tow here. He's hooked right under the gearbox of Ivan Beloff, who gets away slightly on top speed, but I'm sure that Simon Palmer will have a great move here on its way. Cool 132 leads from Joe Hamster and Mr. Steen. Ivan Beloff, Simon Palmer, Ginger Tiger after our restart, but with all manner of different pit strategies on the way. The medium starters should be able to get to lap 24 to 26 and easily get a single stop on soft tyres at the end. Let's have a look at the front of the grid as Cool 132 seems to be catching Joe Hamster, who can't quite get away, but Joe Hamster took Cool 132, I believe. Joe Hamster now with the lead of the race and the opportunity to get well away from Ivan Beloff, who's got Cool 132 and Mr. Steen in between himself and the new race leader, Joe Hamster.
Joe Hamster has to get that 3-second lead, otherwise his penalty will come back to bite him.
True.
Kuipers cut loads of corners and then DNF'd in the pits, but at least it's in the pits.
Oh, down the inside, Mr. Steen on Cool 132, and these newer tyres paying dividends here. Cool 132 playing the long game on the medium tyres, going for a 1-stop here tonight, but unfortunately falling backwards from the front of the grid. What on earth happened to our leader of the race previously? Was that Ben Roberts who led the race? It was from the restart.
It was, yes. Then he spun at the start.
Simon has a good run here on Ivan Beloff. I can't watch the entire track. Everyone seems to be battling with each other. Keza on Office Red on his way through as well. But Simon Palmer cannot, I don't think he's got the top speed here, Lightning, to tackle Ivan Beloff without DRS.
Oh, that was a beautiful exit there from Keza. Brilliant racecraft. He's right on the back of Office Red, looking for a move. Not quite close enough, but
Ivan Beloff
getting different lines.
Ivan Beloff getting past Cool 132. That's a critical move for the race. Simon Palmer unable to capitalise fully, but I think will follow through shortly. Some gamer dating going on really here between between our commenters, which again you like to see. who had Joe Hamster, Mr. Steen and Ivan Beloff for a potential podium out there? I'm not sure I saw that predicted by anybody, but we definitely want a new winner, or a rare winner in the podium positions at the end of this race. We'd like to keep it nice and tight here at Invictus Racing League. Call 132, defending from Simon Palmer, who finally gets the DRS he's been waiting for. Screams on past. Looks like the other Alfa Romeo of Office Red is coming past Ginger Tiger as well, and possibly Keza entering that battle. So Simon Palmer gets past Call 132. Call 132 now has his teammate on soft tyres behind him. Hopefully he will be awake to that as he gets a massive power oversteer on the way out of the corner, and that absolutely welcomes his teammate, and as you call it, exactly down the inside goes Keza on Ginger Tiger. Yeah.
Beautiful move from Keza, so late on the brakes, nearly hits Cool, but stops it just in time. Soft tyres working wonders here.
Definitely.
Next target are the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, but Keza's right there watching the Alfa Romeos who are on split strategies. Office Red and Simon Palmer. Tirak and Smoke committed to a two-stopper.
Keza's he's gonna look for it, but no.
Cool is really struggling on these tyres, Lightning, after the restart.
It really is. Keza's all over the back of him. He's locking up everywhere. It's Cool, that is, not Keza.
And you said that you were on board with Smoke when he spun.
Was. Yeah.
Dear.
Poor guy. Beautiful exit there from Keza. Oh, Tyra. I think he's binned it.
It's not been a happy hunting ground for Ferrari here, has it, tonight?
It really hasn't.
Smoke and Tirak both having big problems.
Poor Smoke. Lightning curse again. But he's back on the train, so not all is lost.
So Simon Palmer has got ahead of Ivan Beloff here. Simon Palmer on the soft tyres with the tyre advantage at this point, planning to stop again. Ivan Beloff in two minds, you would think, at this point. Courtney says Tyrek spun at the pits, so was he trying to get into the pits, or would he just pass the pit lane? I would imagine you can't spin in the pit lane, so Joe Hamster picks up another penalty, Lightning, as well.
That is
so
critical.
Massive. Joe Hamster and Mr. Steen both on 6 seconds of penalty. Simon Palmer and Ivan Beloff definitely enjoying that particular metric. Rents with all the driver coaching, which I have to say is not unusual for Rents. Likes to lend his expertise, whether it was requested or not. Certainly likes to give his
well, he is
wisdom.
Right, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So here comes Simon Palmer on the outside of Mr. Steen in the battle for second place.
So many battles at the same time.
That was some very careful tiptoeing around the outside. Put himself in the dangerous position on the outside of a driver on worse tyres, but he survived it. So bravery for Simon Palmer on the his special secret plan for today. And as you said,
we could say it now.
I can't say it.
Oh no.
Sworn to secrecy, but I will have to, let you know if it did come to fruition. Certainly seems to be working at the moment, although I'm not sure, as I say, whether El Plan really considered a wet qualifying. But Smoke picks up a penalty.
Huge moment for Ginger Tiger through the S section, our championship leader, not having a very good race, but Smoke catching a penalty, but also overtaking Cool, and he had to give the place back because it's an illegal overtake.
Well, that was sporting of him, I suppose, unless he was instructed to do so. Looks like Cool really struggling here.
Always in that corner.
A lot of problems on those 14-lap-old mediums, the oldest tyres on the track, and he goes into the pits with 20 still to go. Simon Palmer takes the lead on Joe Hamster using the DRS. Simon Palmer past Joe Hamster, so the new leader of the race is Simon Palmer, but he still has to pit. Joe Hamster and Mr. Steen with 6 seconds of penalty each. Meanwhile, Ivan Beloff has the option of running lean.
Now.
Yeah. So Ivan Beloff, he was the leader of the race. He was the pole position holder. Maybe he will still be on for a potential win here today. Ivan Beloff pacing himself on those medium tyres to try and get them to the end of this race. He's going to have to do 27 laps on the medium tyre if that's the plan. So lap 16 sees Simon Palmer lead from Joe Hamster just over a second. Mr. Steen is less than a quarter of a second behind, and Ivan Beloff watching and waiting. Then Keza, Office Red, Ginger Tiger, Smoke, Nitrogash, Tirak, Cool 132 and Ben Roberts, 12 from 15 remain with 20 laps to go.
All these parameters with the penalties,
Yeah.
the tyres, the race pace, it's really exciting. I think the race will be between Simon and Ivan for the win. Neither of them have penalties, but Simon does have track position.
Getting the feeling we're seeing the start of Simon slowing on those softs. Lap 8 on the soft tyres, he could really do with another safety car at this point. But his ascendancy is stalled. He doesn't have any DRS to use, but I feel like the initial bonus of those soft tyres has definitely faded away. He'll have to run mediums to the end, and he needs to build the gap now. Although, having said that, puts half a second on Joe Hamster, as Ivan Beloff is very much caught in traffic here behind Mr. Steen. Traffic is probably unkind. Whoa! Round goes Joe Hamster and out of the race. On the way out of the S's. Have we had any contact?
Hit him.
Several drivers
Nearly.
almost hitting him, and what have we got? We've got a safety car just in time for Simon Palmer. Surely Simon Palmer will come into the pits now and put on medium tyres to finish this race out. Yes, into the pits comes our leader, Simon Palmer, followed by Mr. Steen and Ivan Beloff. So fresh mediums are the order of the day. And it looks like everyone thinking this is the right time.
No.
But
Smoke just smashed into the back of Ginger Tiger going into the pits, and he got a 5-second penalty for it.
Smoke tonight. It has not been good for Smoke. This race has really been a struggle bus for Smoke, unfortunately. Cool 132, what does he do? He's just pitted, so he'll be able to overtake these other drivers right now. Cool 132 might rescue a good result out of this race, although he's just got soft tyres on with 18 laps to go. That is right on the edge, Lightning, of getting tyres to the end of this race.
That's not going to work out for him, surely.
Well, that means that Simon Palmer holds the lead of the race, having moved forward thanks to this super secret plan of his. 123 comments we get at this stage. Jordan says that he called that Joe Hamster was going to crash. You did, Jordan, but you said lap 1. So
yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
It's lap 18.
I'm afraid you went strong on that claim, didn't you? And you were at 17 laps early. But never mind.
I'm afraid you need to pay attention in class.
But yeah, unfortunately, Joe Hamster will be expecting plenty of slaps, as he said. Jordan says 18 has a 1 in it. Well, I wonder if Joe Hamster fancies joining us and telling us about the race. He's joined the stream. He might well turn up and give us a little debrief while we've got this safety car in operation. He'd be very welcome, but as long as he can keep the language family friendly, shall we say? So as we will restart the race fairly soon, I would have thought, given the
surely Smoke will pit to get rid of his penalty, no?
It's a good call,
Guess not.
but
Guess
no,
not. Guess
he
not.
doesn't go for it. Perhaps not quite awake to that option, Lightning. Preferring track position over Nitro, Ben Roberts and Tirak. We've only got 11 runners left here in this race. We are past the halfway
through.
We're past the halfway point as well, so hopefully we're done with our DNFs and our safety cars for the evening. Joe said he's going to get on his way, and he'd like an invite if you wouldn't mind helping him out on that, Lightning.
Oh yes, into the party. I'll there we go. I figured it out.
Rents would like to know how the four wide moment, how many years it took off his life. which is a good one from Reds as usual. High value rents here. Joe Hamster on his way, I think. He started a separate party with me. He doesn't want to talk with you on the call, it seems like, unfortunately.
I don't blame him, because I'd probably call him an idiot.
Hopefully he'll be here shortly. Wow, Jordan says karma for spinning him yesterday in their practice race. That's rough.
Is it Joe Hamster 9?
That's his YouTube. I think it's just Joe. Yeah, it is Joe Hamster 9. One word.
There we go. I've got him.
Excellent. He's on his way then, but we will get going very shortly. So we will watch the restart. We'll watch restart, and then we'll talk to Joe when things settle down before the DRS is re-enabled. We'll just watch the first few corners, and then we can't wait to hear from Joe. Hopefully he'll check his broadcast and party settings on the audio are set to share as well while we wait. But Simon Palmer will lead away from the circuit on the same strategy as everybody else. No penalties. Mr. Steen goes with him in a great restart for Mr. Steen as he starts catching. Might be within range, but Simon Palmer hugging the inside as Keza will have a look at the back of Ivan Beloff. Mr. Steen trying the outside move here, becomes the inside, becomes the outside into turn 3, and I think Simon Palmer will just about survive this. What have you seen? Is it smoke again?
Smoke again. On board, not his fault. He got hit in the rear by nitro gas.
The rear of that Ferrari will not be looking good. Mr. Steen goes for the move on the inside once again, gets his front wing roped on the back of Simon Palmer's rear wheel, and just about holding on as around the outside tries Keza, getting out of shape through the hairpin and into the S's they go. Keza leading off his red there. Simon Palmer is well away. Mr. Steen, remember, 12 seconds of penalty, and he's fighting as if he's on 0. But Joe Hamster, very sporting of you to join us as we'll just watch Office Red try and move on Keza into the stadium, and just about surviving that move, but I think Keza's going to come down the inside. Oh! Into the fray comes Ginger Tiger, our championship leader, and Keza cuts the corner, gets a penalty for it. Joe Hamster, what happened on your restart? Was it cold tyres? What was the deal?
I just got on the curb around the S's, that's why I span. Wasn't anything to do with the tyres or anything, just a mistake.
Shocking. Well. Unfortunately, Jordan called it early and says it's karma for how you treated him in the practice race.
Don't know what he's on about.
Oh, you should have said, who's Jordan? That was the bigger insult there, really.
That's a good one.
But how was your race up to then? You looked like you had great pace here in Mexico.
Yeah, I felt I did have good pace. I got a good start, and then I don't know if you guys saw what happened at the safety car restart. No clue. But people were going around left and centre, people were making contact. I don't know what happened.
There was a 4 wide moment going into turn 1 involving you. I think you triumphed on that as well.
I did, yeah. I just I broke as late as possible, and I knew they'd be fighting over the corner, so a little bit deep wouldn't hurt.
Well, you're never lacking in bravery in overtakes, are you? So always good to see, always good value. Feel free to stick around, but if you've got a pillow to scream in with your name on it, then we totally understand. We've had a lot of banter coming from the guys on the chat. Obviously, you're a driver who garners a lot of following, whether that's positive or negative for your race pace. I'm not entirely sure at this point.
Well, I think it helped at first, but
we've got Ginger Tiger handing the place over to Ben Roberts on the soft tyres, so he's certainly cognizant of his teammates' position on track, despite the fact that they're in very different places in the championship. Ginger Tiger handing the place over to Ben Roberts quite willingly there, Lightning. Yeah,
it's playing the team game. Maybe Ben Roberts can carve his way through the field and tag Ginger Tiger along to help him get past as many people as possible.
Well, hopefully he can stay with him and not end up vulnerable himself. Ginger Tiger here on the medium tyres. He's got Nitro Gash behind him, and we know Nitro can unlock some pace usually late on in the races. Courtney says she's watching Smoke stream as well, and you can tell he's fuming at the moment.
Fuming.
Yeah.
Good one.
Wow. So Smoke really struggling tonight. It's been quite a difficult one for him. I don't know if Joe's got anything. No, Joe hasn't got anything to say about Smoke.
Maybe hates me.
He's off. He's off before you could ask him a question, Lightning. Round the outside comes Ben Roberts on the soft tyres. Gets past Office Red very comfortably. Will Ginger Tiger follow? Not quite. Simon Palmer continuing to lead from Mr. Steen. And Ivan Beloff is 1.2 seconds back from Mr. Steen. I'm surprised that Ivan is unable to make headway into Mr. Steen at the moment, but maybe that's just patience, Lightning, at this point.
Yeah, I think he's waiting, playing the long game.
Yeah.
Seeing what opportunities arise later on in the race. There's still quite a fair bit. 13 laps. Got quite a lot of time to do a lot of things.
Currently, we've got Mercedes at the top and the tail of the order. Keza, I'm not quite sure. I was tracking Keza's race quite well enough because I'm not quite sure how he's ended up behind Smoke tonight.
He had an issue, got a broken wing and had to pit probably about 5 laps ago.
Oh, and of course you've got the massive demotivation of having received a lightning insult tonight on Keza as well.
That's probably the cause of it.
You never really give much consideration to quite how high esteem the drivers hold you in. Down the inside comes Nitrogash, a 3 wide moment. Is it going to be? He goes down the inside of Ginger Tiger. Gets the move done, does he? As Ginger Tiger tries to get a better move here, but Nitrogash 2 places in 1 move. Ginger Tiger 1 up, Office Red down 2, and that was pretty special. Ginger Tiger trying to find some room on track, but Nitrogash using the inside, using the middle line, and Joe Hampstead confirms he's off to find a pillow to scream into. We've got Simon Palmer continuing to lead. Mr. Steen not letting him get away at all here, despite the 16 seconds of penalties. Sorry, 12 seconds of penalties Mr. Steen has accrued. He quite fancies a win on the road here.
Certainly does, not backing down. 14 seconds penalties for Smoke. Maybe he's looking for 44 seconds. It's not going well for him, and half of it's not even his fault. In fact, I'd say that only 1 spin was his fault.
Normally 1 spin is enough, right? I mean, to total your race.
3. Oh well.
Looks like Simon Palmer starting to derate down the straights, with Mr. Steen catching to within a quarter of a second now at the front of this field.
Get there, I reckon.
You think so?
Yeah. 17% for Simon, 62 for Steen in terms of battery. So yeah, next time round could be curtains.
Could be it.
So got 12 seconds penalties. He's not going to get rid of that.
No. He hasn't quite got that amount of pace in the car, but he has got his supporters with him tonight, so we shouldn't be too scathing.
Yeah, that could push his car on the straights, give him extra boost.
That's right. Ginger Tiger.
Maybe strip the paint off. I mean, that's what they're doing in real life, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Suddenly there's a lot of black creeping into the liveries lately. Well, Rent says is Ivan saving ERS. Can you have a look at that for us, Lightning? Because the boss doesn't like me displaying that. So yes, he has.
The boss doesn't like it.
No.
Do it anyway.
says the man not commentating on the next few races.
That's why I said it. Yeah.
Some of us have got to stay in employment here. Ginger Tiger, 2/3 of a second back. And it looks like Mr. Steen is launching one and successfully getting past Simon Palmer using the DRS. Simon Palmer not fighting it too hard, perhaps wisely, but he doesn't want to fall away from the DRS zone of Mr. Steen, who has got some great pace at this point. I'm at a loss to explain Mr. Steen's pace, Lightning.
It's pretty fantastic. Ginger Tiger around the outside of Nitrogash, and then getting a switch back. A little bit of a battle here. Quite nice.
Courtney asks who holds the record for the most time penalties. Simon Palmer picks one up. That's pretty important for our race. Yeah, but I was
really
going to
is.
say simply 90 was the way I was going to go, but that's an F1 record. I'm trying to think about F2, and I'm
F2.
struggling. I don't think we have a penalty merchant in F2, do we?
Well, right now it's Smoke followed by Steen. But
They're
that's
certainly
not
trying to
usual.
compete for the record round Mexico for sure. Simon
That's very
Palmer
rare.
seemingly struggling on throttle application on the way out of the final corner. The Peraltada. Rent says simply, no, come on, who is the F2 penalty king? That's what we need to know. Here comes Simon Palmer then with the DRS. I think biding his time into turn 1. I think he fancies it into turn 4 instead. But using the overspeed and perhaps preserving a little bit of ERS as well. He needs the tyre life to the end of the race. Maybe Mr. Steen has decided to just go full send on these tyres and commit to a 2-stop. But we have 9 laps to go, and Mr. Steen leads by 0.4 of a second, but with 9 seconds of penalties more than Miss Simon Palmer, who has 3 seconds of penalties over Ivan Belov, 0.
That is critical. Ivan has 2 warnings though, so.
You read my mind. I was about to ask. About to ask that.
Just checking it.
Oh, Office Red picks one up. I thought for a minute that was going to be Ivan. But
I really did too. Yeah, 3 more drivers without penalties. Ivan, if he doesn't get a penalty, he will continue his record of win, DNF, or don't start. Either that or he'll bin it.
It could
Let's
be that
find
rare
out.
thing, which is a non-win for Ivan Belov here tonight. We'll see. As the race still has plenty to run. Ben Roberts has got an issue. No, he's coming to the pits. Ben Roberts, so getting rid of that second set of softs. No, sorry, must have been medium soft. Soft he has run tonight.
Ginger Tiger
Dropping to the tail of the field.
Into turn 1. Oh, there's contact.
Good
Let's get
call.
this. Oh my god, that was so close.
Nitro
That was so close to another spin.
taking no prisoners through turn 1 at all.
They both have DRS somehow. How do they do that?
Was that the
magic.
pit stop
it
for
must
Ben
be the-
Roberts that Ginger
must
let
be
go? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nitro and Ginger up to 4th and 5th. Simon Palmer still half a second away from Mr. Steen. And how is Simon Palmer's harvesting project going? 33% now.
Yep, versus Steen 60%. So he's got half, but he's getting better. He's saving some. Ivan with 40%. That's 2.1 second is the gap to Steen. So, at the moment, Simon Palmer needs to get a hurry on.
We join Ginger Tiger following Nitrogash. He'll be very close through the final corner and therefore into the DRS zone. A reminder of the tyre situation as things stand. I think
Move the lead.
the majority of people are pitted to the end, and as you call it, Simon Palmer retaking the lead on Mr. Steen through turns 1 and 2. Let's check out Ginger Tiger, who gets up to 4th place as well. 4.6 seconds back from Ivan Belov, so well within range of a podium here tonight for our championship leading Ginger Tiger. This one could be huge for the championship. Round 10 of 15. Tirak going down the inside of Nitrogash, or at least attempting it. He's got the better grip on the outside of the next corner. Gets to sweep round the double right-hander of 7 and 8. And manages to complete the move. Tirak, great move there.
On board with Ivan Belov so fast through the S section without picking up any warnings. So doing his job, doing what he needs to do.
But now Simon Palmer, it's hammer time for Simon Palmer in the Mercedes, as he has got to get that 3-second gap to Ivan Belov.
He really does. 2.2 currently, so just 8 more tenths of a second. But Mr. Steen is going to have DRS here. He's going to be closing in.
It's a long way back, nearly 8 tenths of a second as they round the Peraltada for the 30th time. 6 clean laps to go, we hope, as Mr. Steen moving around, but there's no way through with that kind of a gap. If he can stay close, he might have a sniff on the way into turn 4. But I feel as if he's just that little bit too far back. New fastest lap from Ben Roberts.
Soft tyres at the end of the race are always going to be incredibly fast. Oh, another penalty for Smoke.
Smoke.
Seriously, a bad day for Smoke.
Keza is falling behind Office Red as well, as the Alfa Romeos, who lead our championship for constructors, currently only in 9th and 10th, but still scoring points as a pair, as they have done virtually the whole season long. So it seems to be the way to go if you want to win this constructors championship in F2. Now, I do like it, Lightning, when a league shares its constructors championship across all its divisions. I don't know what you think about that, but it tends to get really good audience figures where the teammates cross division cheer on each other.
That's interesting. I like that. Does it include realistic performance though?
I wouldn't know.
Because that would be a bit weird. I don't think
Invictus
so.
is the only realistic performance I know of, or at least I'm party to. So yeah, I know it doesn't happen here, but I do quite like it when people tune in to support their teammates from across division. It's pretty cool, and they can share setups and parties and strategies and things as well.
Well,
Ben Roberts gets past cool 132, and Office Red gets a new fastest lap. These soft tyres working well.
About the constructors, but in F1 division, Alpine is dominating the constructors, and in F2 division, they are with 0 points. So.
Wow. Yeah. Well, they need some special max strategies and setups, don't they? Max and Speed Queen.
They certainly do, yeah.
Need to spread the learning across division, and that's pretty cool as well. I like the fact that people in the top division can help the lower division teammates come forward, and everybody gets better as a result. So Tirac is half a second behind Ginger Tiger. That's the closest battle on track. Mr. Steen is 0.8 of a second behind Simon Palmer at the front of the field, and we have 5 laps to go. Ivan Beloff still well within range from the leader of that 3 seconds it needs to be, but Simon Palmer could get away here and stretch that lead, with Ivan Beloff then forced into making a move on Mr. Steen in order to stay in touch with Simon Palmer. It's over 2 seconds now, that gap.
Yeah, I mean, Ivan Belov is so close to DRS to Steen, so that's going to change the whole race. It'll be almost impossible for Simon Palmer to get away then.
Tirac picks up another penalty, and he joins the battle for most penalised driver. Gets the place on Ginger Tiger, who lets him go because he's got 12 seconds of penalties, as has Keza and Smoke. So who will get the most penalties tonight? Put your votes in now. I'm not quite sure how to call that one. I think Tirac might make it if he's going to be battling Ginger Tiger. So that almost certainly means it'll be Smoke. This is the driver we haven't chosen. But some big gaps generating apart from this battle for 4th and the battle for 1st place. It's now 2.5 seconds the gap between Simon Palmer and Ivan Beloff at the front of the field.
That is a big gap between P1 and 11. Plus the penalties.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fastest lap currently with Office Red. So a 37.3 gap from 1st to 11th, given we've had 2 safety cars.
Smoke.
What have we got going on? Simon Palmer and Mr. Steen. Simon Palmer must have made an error because Mr. Steen is right with him, and Ivan has gained significantly on that lap. Simon Palmer possibly with an issue going through the first 3 corners, and unfortunately dropping back. He's got to do the job all over again with just 3 laps to go.
Smoke getting the penalty to become the driver with the most penalties. As you said, none of the ones we predicted.
Yeah. Rent's saying that this should be age restricted due to the time penalty count on the drivers. It's gambling, he says. So I feel like maybe that needs a little bit of work. Is there?
I was perplexed. Okay, I get it now.
I perhaps didn't do it justice reading it out properly, but 1.6 seconds the gap, 1st to 3rd. Ivan Beloff gunning for the win here tonight. Ginger Tiger gets Tirac, and Tirac is out. With 3 laps to go, he's out of the race. Where is he? He's in the stadium. Is he online? Not really. He's on the pit lane entry though, and Ben Roberts runs over some debris. I think we're going to survive this for a safety car.
I think it just went across the line, so 2 laps to go. They won't put a safety car out now.
That's true.
3 laps
the
to
car
go.
has been cleared as well for Tirac. He's out of the race, and Simon Palmer would have been desperately hoping that didn't feed into a safety car. It's really important, though, to look at the tyres at the moment. 15 lap-old mediums on the top 4 drivers. So it's very, very even for them. All pitting on that second safety car. But it's all about the penalties and the gaps between the drivers. I don't know if Simon can do this, Lightning. What do you think?
It's going to be a struggle. Ivan has to get a penalty for Simon to be able to do this.
Okay.
Will it happen? History says otherwise.
So 2 complete laps to run. Simon Palmer leading Mr. Steen and Ivan Beloff. Crucially, Ivan Beloff by 1.5 seconds. That's a big ask to get on our highest performing driver overall, I would say. He's not got the most points, but when he's been here, he's won, Ivan Beloff, through the season. Mr. Steen is doing his best to distract Simon Palmer, who could do well to ignore anything that Mr. Steen is doing. Ginger Tiger, championship leader, completely on his own. 6.8 seconds away from Ivan Beloff. Another 6 seconds away from Nitrogash. I'm not sure Simon Palmer's got the grip on the tyres to run the end of this race successfully.
He's
here.
really struggling at the moment, yeah. Ivan Beloff is just chilling in the background, waiting for the end of the race because he knows that he's kept it clean the entire race, so he won't get any penalties.
Cue penalty. Cue that final warning.
I doubt that. Nah, he's not going to get a penalty.
Just updating us, he says it's his worst season ever. Got a 3-second time penalty with 4 warnings in turn 1.
What?
So, I don't know. I really don't know. You'd think after 2 warnings you'd start to learn, but could be set-up problems or a lack of practice, maybe.
Did he get 4 warnings in 1 corner, though? Because that does sometimes happen.
Okay, well, that would be another reading of the situation I wasn't really privy to, but here comes Mr. Steen on Simon Palmer, smoking him down the start-finish straight, getting back into the lead of the field, and that's just going to make Simon Palmer's day even harder because now he doesn't have that buffer. Mr. Steen picks up another penalty, and well, that's just not on that weaving, frankly.
What is he doing?
That, for me, is a big penalty in addition to the 15 he's already got. Unless he's trying to do the favours for Ivan Beloff here, that was not good driving whatsoever from Mr. Steen.
Well, all Simon Palmer has to do now is just slow down a bit and, you know, interfere with Ivan. It's a little bit of a side-by-side movement. Squeeze him off a bit.
Invite him to the outside of the track. What is Mr. Steen doing? His tyres are not dead. They can't be.
It's the last lap.
It is the last lap. Mr. Steen.
I didn't even know.
Mr. Steen, I've been counting it down. Mr. Steen coming through the stadium section for the final time. I won't give him a great deal of attention here because it's all about the gap between Simon Palmer and Mr. Win or Bust. It's Ivan Beloff, wins again in Mexico and takes the 10th round of the season, completing his win or bust record. Ginger Tiger gets P3 and gets himself up onto the podium completely alone on the circuit. Mr. Steen demoted down to 4th place. I'd say at least, as Nitro gets 5th, Ben Roberts 6th, and some good performances overall from the drivers. Nitro up 6th, Ben Roberts up 8 places, Cool 132 up 5, Office Red in 8th, up 7, and we'll take you through the rest of the grid. Rent says he thinks Ivan will accidentally get a penalty. Well, I think that's coming a little bit late. Courtney said she got Ginger and Simon on the podium, and Lucky Smoke 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Quoting Meatloaf in the chat here. But Ivan Beloff once again, Lightning, taking the biggest trophy of the evening.
Brilliant performance from Ivan. Kept it clean all race, no penalties. I think only one other driver, or 2, kept it that clean.
Yeah.
So, very well done.
Well, we'll confirm that on the results screen, but a good performance from Simon Palmer as well. And there you have your erstwhile championship leader, maybe Ginger Tiger in 3rd place. But you take us through the grid, and we'll get our press conference sorted shortly.
Ivan Belov yet again with another win in this series. No DNF this time. P2 Simon Palmer, L plan working quite well because that's, I think, one of his best performances this season. Ginger Tiger P3, very, very consistent in the championship lead still. Mr. Scene P4 managed to recover from his qualifying mistake. Nitro Gash P5, good recovery from P11. Ben Roberts P14, good points for Aston Martin this race. The championship leaders in the constructors, Alfa Romeo P7 and 8, consistent still, probably going to continue to lead the constructors title. P9 for Keza in the Mercedes, Smoke and Tyrek for Ferrari, not doing very well in P10 and 11, bad luck for both of those drivers. Joe Hamster had that mistake in the mid part of the race. Kuipers P13 and JSP with a DNF as well.